I'm Michelle Aiken, aka Lillian Silver, and this is the channel where I talk about Harry Potter fan fiction. And I wanted to give a shout out to someone who left a comment on the last video that almost made me cry if it wasn't for my cold dead heart. And this person said, well, first of all, they love my fic and read it this weekend, and now they're checking all the time to see if another chapter is up. I publish twice a week, just so you know, but please continue to refresh your page anxiously. It's very flattering. It's Macarena Soto, so hello. And they said, I hope that in the future you could share some tips to start writing. I really want to do it, but I don't even know how to start. So I thought I'd give you my 2 cents or perhaps 25 cents or something, and I have a few Post-its here, so I'm going to see how fast I can get through all these tips. First of all, there's a book called The Artist's Way, and one of the chapters in it is about writing every single day and doing this thing called morning pages, where you sit down and the first thing you do, sit down, you're in bed, you grab your notebook, you write, or your laptop or your phone, whatever works for you. And there's actually a website called 750words.com, and it is like 750words.com that this guy Buster Benson made so that people could do their morning pages digitally and save them. And it's actually like a community, and it's really cool. So use 750words.com, write every single morning. This is a brain dump, and it's such a good cathartic release also, because you can write about your dreams, you can write about whatever's on your mind, but just be in the practice of writing every single day and not having it need to be anything in particular. In terms of writing fan fiction, I would say I assume you probably read a lot of fan fiction, Macarena, because you're on my channel. So pick 3 of your favorite fics that are like yours. And this is a tip I got in film school from my screenwriting professor. He was like, okay, so here's your plot idea, your little whatever the idea is, the basic premise of the fic, which is just something you make up. You literally pluck it out of thin air. Okay, great. That's it. And then you pick 3 movies that are like your movie so that you can reference them for tone and structure and different things that, when you're in the middle of yours, you might be like, wait, what am I writing right now? And need to be reminded of what you set out to do in the first place. So it's not stealing. It's not like, oh, you go look at this and we'll make yours like that. It's more that there's so many styles and there's so many different ways to structure a fic or a movie. And so it's just getting clear on what genre are we in? Is this romantic comedy? Is it dark? There's just lots of decisions to make at the beginning of a fic. I have these story worksheets over here. I literally Googled, how do you structure fan fiction? And I found this story planning worksheet. I would link to it, but I don't even know if I can find it. Just Google your face off and you'll find different ways to structure. Also, I have all these different things about the characters and how they handle their feelings on little Post-it notes, how each different character handles their feelings, and then plot points that I want to reach, which I've mostly abandoned, but they're kind of loosely still accurate. But that helped me to just get it out of my brain. So pick 3 fics that are like yours for tone and structure references is my second thing. Also, the way that I came up with the plot for Sour Grapes, I was laying in bed and I thought, Draco was sweating. That would be a really funny first line of a fic. Maybe I'll write that. Okay, why is he sweating? Well, he's in the sun. Where is he? He's in France at a vineyard that his family owns. He's hiding there. It's after the war. Like, this is literally, I think I fell asleep shortly after I came up with that idea because I was just so contented by the idea that I was going to start it with the words Draco is sweating. That's where the idea came from. That's it. So, you don't need to plot out the entire thing. I'm an improvising writer. I can't plan. This is all bullshit. I just did it to try and make myself feel better about this, but I improvise, and it's very trusting the process, the whole thing. It's a little frightening now, especially because there's so many of you following my story, and I'm actually really confident now, but there was a little while there where I wasn't sure about how it was going to go. So there's a lot of trust. Other tips: do not edit while you're writing. Just write. I have a rule. I'm not allowed to delete anything, and I'm not allowed to stop editing. That's actually a second tip. Don't delete anything. But don't start to edit your thing. Just get it done, get it there, and then sit down later to edit once you've had a little separation from it. I delete nothing. If I'm writing a scene and I hate it, all of a sudden I grab it and I put it into a different document and I'll title it something like, this started out well, but then started to get weird, or whatever I'm thinking. So I have a lot of scenes that I'm like, I started to do this, but then I couldn't justify the way a story was acting. And then I leave it, and maybe I'll use it for something else. Maybe I'll come back to it, whatever. But I don't delete anything ever, because if it came out of me, it's probably useful for something. Get help. Get feedback from someone. So if you can find a friend, even if it's an anonymous person you don't really know online who's willing to beta for you, to beta read, find someone. I have a few people. I have one friend in particular who got me into this in the first place, who gives amazing feedback. And she really helps me to just stay on track. Most of the time it's just encouragement, but then she'll be like, so what do you want? Like, what feedback do you want? And I've said, don't correct my grammar. Don't correct my syntax, because I don't care. And I'll probably just get mad and argue with you. But I'd love to know if this makes any sense, because I'm so close to it. I can't tell if the plot even makes sense anymore. So can you just tell me? Like, there's a scene in Sour Grapes where Draco goes to visit his mom in prison, and she gives him a lot of information. There's a lot of plot exposition, and my head was spinning by the fifth time I wrote the damn thing, and I sent it to my friend. She's like, oh no, it does, but maybe you need to add, it goes too fast or it's too easy. So I had to go back in and slow the scene down based on her feedback. And I needed that. There's other chapters where I didn't want anyone's feedback. I was like, F you, I'm doing this right now. Leave me alone. I don't want to hear what you think. It's just going to mess me up. So you start to learn what you want and need. I also took some people's feedback to heart too much and made me want to stop writing. So be careful who you ask, and be careful of especially early comments, especially on fanfiction.net. If you post there, I recommend just posting on Archive of Our Own, because everyone's lovely for the most part. Don't take it to heart, because some people are just like, man, you really don't know who's on the other end. So don't let it take you out, and talk to someone about it if you get crappy feedback. I do that. I go talk to somebody about it. Remember, this is supposed to be fun. If it starts to feel like work, stop. Every single sentence you type is an exercise in trusting yourself, trusting, your muse or whatever. Everything you type, it's like, it's coming out of you, therefore it is valid. Please remember that. Ed Sheeran says, he talks about songwriting, and he says that songwriting, it's like going into an old house when you first get started and turning on the tap, and there's like gunky, gross brown water that comes out, and you have to leave it flowing so that it can go. And you can get like some clean water, and then more gunk, and then some more clean water. And eventually, the more that you write, the more it runs clean. And so that's the goal. So you need to keep it running. You need to write every day. You need to just keep moving forward so that it doesn't gunk up again. And your best stuff will come out eventually, but you'll write a lot of gunk. I've been writing for years and years, mostly nonfiction before I started fanfic, and I wrote a lot of crap, and I still do. A lot of the scenes I write are just crap, and I'm learning how to throw them away, or sometimes I publish them. I'm like, whatever, this isn't my best, but I'm just going to keep going. I think the definitive thing I have for you is, this is an exercise in growth. It is not an exercise in pleasing other people. You're writing so as to express you. And it's really, really easy to start doing it to impress other people, make other people happy, get validation. That's all going to happen. You're a human, whatever. But just come back to remember that this is actually for your own self-expression, and you will grow as a person, and you'll get to know yourself more deeply because you're doing this. So that's why I'd have you write that on a Post-it note, put it somewhere where you can see it. The goal here is self-expression, period. That's it. And if you put it on a Post-it note, or put any of these things on Post-it notes where you can see, please send me a picture on Twitter. I'm Michelle Aiken on Twitter. It's in the box below. I'd love to see your writing spaces and whatever little notes you make for yourself. And that's it. I have to go. I literally have to go. I have a phone call to be on now. I just wanted to get this video out of me before I forgot. Thank you, Macarena Soto, and everybody else for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm living for these comments. I love them. I want to make video responses to all of them. So scientists just need to engineer a way for me to not need sleep so that I can get everything done. Also, I got a selfie ring light off Amazon so that I don't have to wait for sunlight, because my friend Grace Helbig told me to, and I listen to my friends who are very smart and give good, encouraging advice. Love you, Grace. Love you all. Thank you for reading Sour Grapes, and I'll be back soon with another video. Also, I'm going to London next week. Ah! My voice isn't really back yet. I'm going to London next week for my birthday. What?